At least 22 people are reported to have been killed in an attack on a military hospital in the Afghan capital, Kabul. The Taliban said there were two huge explosions. Both appeared to target civilians. There were then reports of gunfire coming from the area, and eyewitnesses say they saw armed militants entering the building. Our correspondent Secunda Kamani is in Kabul.
The attack began, as you say, with a suspected suicide bombing outside the gate to the military hospital in Kabul. That was followed by gunfire and another explosion. It's not clear exactly how many attackers were involved. The Taliban spokesman telling us that 4 assailants were killed, 1 was arrested. And the attack is now over, though in the last few minutes I've just heard some sporadic gunfire from the direction in which this incident was taking place. This attack targeted a military hospital. It previously treated soldiers from the Afghan army. It now treated both members of the Taliban and members of the previous government's army. This hospital has in the past been targeted by the Islamic State group in 2017. They killed more than 30 people there. And all the suspicion will be that this is the work, yet again, of ISK, because they've been responsible for a spate of suicide bombings in recent weeks, targeting both ordinary civilians and the Taliban. Real concern here that although IS is much less powerful than the Taliban, they're still able to carry out these deadly attacks.
Do we have any indication, though, if groups like Islamic State are recruiting from outside Afghanistan?
You're absolutely right. That's the Taliban's promise of improving security was really one of their big selling points that they tried to. That's really been the narrative that they've tried to promote to the Afghan people and to other countries around the region who are also very worried about the possible rise of IS. You know, look, so far IS, I think, is you know, we're talking about fairly small numbers here, 2,000, 3,000 members. Compare that to around 70,000 members of the Taliban. And IS don't control any territory here, but they're much more brutal, much more ruthless than the Taliban, and that's what worries so many people here and in the region, particularly because whilst the Taliban say, at least, that they're only interested in implementing what they term an Islamic government inside Afghanistan, IS are quite explicit about wanting to create a kind of global caliphate. So that's one of the reasons why IS is such an issue of concern. It's also probably why the Taliban want to downplay their threat, because they want to reassure the world or make it seem as if they're in control, they can handle things.